Hey everyone, welcome back to the Foundry. I am JB here with Sly and Ken, and we're reviewing more Moon Knight for you. We are on episode 4, The Tomb. Fellas,
Yeah.
how you doing?
Doing great, dude. I'm doing great.
The moon is out. I'm doing phenomenal, man.
It is night, the moon is out, all the ingredients for a perfect review, right boys? But
Yes.
I for one really enjoyed this episode. Also, before we get right into the meat and potatoes that everyone's been asking about, I like to apologize. I've been working quite a bit, so we have been a little late with these episodes popping out for you guys. We appreciate everyone's patience and whatnot, but we're back with it, so hopefully you guys will be able to enjoy the new episode. Really appreciate it if you guys throw some extra support in there. Spread some love, show some love, throw the video out to some nerds out there, because, you know, we work pretty hard for you guys on these reviews, so, you know, show some extra support. But boys and girls, what do we like this episode, yay or nay?
Yes.
It's a yay.
Positive, for sure.
Yay.
I like it.
Yeah, I feel like there's not been an episode so far where I'm like, no, that was bad. I've just...
Yeah, like totally pulled out or anything. Like, what the hell happened?
Midnight.
That's pretty
Sorry,
good.
that was-
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's all right. We wanted to do a laugh track on that one. That was pretty good.
Oh man.
if we
What?
get to 50 likes, the final episode, the final review, we'll get Jimmy Fallon on the show with us. You guys, Ken's idol of comedy, Ken's
Maybe we can do
Ghost
this at
Rider,
midnight.
Ken's
You
Ghost
gotta get
Rider.
Seth Rogen first. You know, I feel like that's a more startling laugh.
True.
There's a lot of
They were in
of
the
fighting.
desert
Yeah, a lot of
and like
fighting.
the tomb a lot this episode. That was like where this happened.
Mhm. I see why they named it the Tomb. A lot of it took
Yeah,
place in
I
the
know,
Tomb.
very on the nose. Exactly.
Steven being a dastardly
Life
little shit.
stealer?
I
Yeah.
know, right? That was pretty fucked up of him. He's like, he
imagine
says
that?
specifically, he says, "Don't make out my wife." And he's like, "Fuck." He's like, "I'm about to bust a nut in her goddamn mouth if I get the chance." And Steven, he kissed Layla, and he's like, they made out a little bit too. I mean, like, that was just
It's like, is it cheating? I don't know. It
for
kinda
her.
feels like it,
For her,
but
she's
it's
like,
also-
she gets
I
like,
think
I
it's
get
always a
best of both
threesome, dude. I don't know what you're talking about.
worlds. Oh,
Hmm.
it's
He's like, hey,
very
tag me in,
interesting.
bro. It's just
It's a very
yeah, just
interesting.
flop back and forth. Oh, can you imagine?
Yeah, I can. Was it a split? Was it 21 personalities? That's a fucking gangbang.
oh,
jeez.
about to run that
Uh,
train.
Anyways, I
yeah,
did have a
anyways.
quick comment on the beginning of this episode, because we pick up like right where we left off in the last episode after they do all the stuff with this guy. You know, Khonshu is no longer he's been trapped and whatever, and then you know for some reason they are immediately followed by I assume the people that follow what's his face, I forget his name.
Arthur?
Harrow.
Yes, yes, those that group, and they're trying to like get away, and so Layla drags Steven, and then just like leaves him on the side of the hill. The vehicle that's chasing is just like surrounding the vehicles. The other vehicle that they drove there with, she's hiding inside it, and they have a mounted gun on their truck, and they don't just like drive around and like just blow it up. They allow themselves to get so close that she can easily attack.
Yeah,
And, like,
I don't know.
It pulled me out a little bit. That part was a little bit weird. Like, it's cool that she's got some skill.
She's
obviously,
capable, right?
awesome, great, but the logic in that scene was non-existent for me.
Yeah, it did not make any sense there. Some point in this episode as well, we saw the pharaohs, right? They were stacking up
yeah.
Khonshu's like little, I guess him being trapped, right?
Oh, when you're talking about when they talk to it or whatever, when
Oh,
when
like
they
right at
place
the
it in?
beginning, you see all the different statues of the.
I'm assuming
I guess those are all
trapped
gods.
gods,
that must-
yeah.
yeah, trapped gods.
maybe
A lot of them, yeah.
Also, maybe
Like-
maybe curious, why isn't Ahmet there? And why did Arthur Harrow get like, why was he there when Khonshu was trapped, and then he like transferred Khonshu back to the pharaohs? Like, what?
Yeah, why did he get to be there?
I don't
He's
know.
He doesn't have anyone's power right now.
He's
Like,
not an
why-
avatar or anything. What the? I thought that was very
I'm starting
weird.
to I'm suspecting there's some shady stuff going on with the guy.
other
who-
gods?
Yeah, the leader of the gods. Yeah,
Mm.
that one avatar. I
Yeah.
suspect there's some little like
Oh, the one
Conspiracy.
dressed like a CEO businessman. Oh man, so trustworthy.
Yeah. I know, right?
Yeah, you're right. Something's probably going up. Like there's a bigger scheme going on here. I don't know why. It just seems like everyone else is ignorant to what's going on, playing a blind eye. The Earth apparently about to be destroyed.
Yeah, it's kind of sketchy.
Yeah,
But there were a lot of other gods that were trapped. Like
yeah, quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
I think last episode you were wondering about like Anubis and some of these other ones. I feel like
Raw.
some of them are probably there, right?
Yeah, maybe. I tried to look a little bit, but I couldn't see.
I'll be pretty upset if Anubis is imprisoned and Amit is not. I'm still like trying to wrap my head around that. It's like, okay, you locked away the dude who's like actually credible for like judging people, but then the one who's like just killing children and stuff, you're like, nah, we'll just put her in a little prison. It's just
He's
temporary
good for
little
it.
place.
He's
But we
good
know
for it.
Ahmet's like in prison, right? That's why Arthur's trying to go free Ahmet, right?
Yeah, but like it's not like as secure as like their little like wall for
Yeah,
their shelf for, like God.
True. Yeah. Maybe that's like a new way of them doing it versus Ahmet was, I don't know, imprisoned a while back, and it's clearly not as
someone
strong
didn't
or
get the
something.
memo, and
Yeah,
someone
I don't know.
removed him. They're waiting
Yeah,
on prison
That is weird,
transfer.
though.
Yeah,
That
it
is
is very weird. There's just a little plot hole thing there. I thought that was just very weird because I think in that episode is when we saw like it where it kind of pans out. You see the wall of all the gods and all the little cubbies they have. Like when you go in like kindergarten, you got to put your shoes up. Like when you go to play outside or on
Exactly.
equipment or something. It was weird.
Yeah.
You get those. I get those shells from Target. They're neat. I got one. As well. What else happened this episode? Yeah, it was like an Indiana Jones episode of like going to the tomb and fighting in the desert
that.
and stuff.
I like that.
Um,
It felt a little risky though, because like they're just both very unarmed and they just go to the camp where they're
yeah,
digging.
it was
as
Steven,
if
right?
there's, like, yeah,
Yeah.
it was still Steven, and like you guys are not prepared for this.
Not
and
at
you're
all.
Going into
Country
enemy
can't help
enemy
you
territory,
anymore.
and they probably have guns, and you.
Yeah,
it-
they just
that also pulled me out a little bit. I was like, this
walk
seems
into
like
the
a lot.
dig site and they're just like chilling, like, all right, yeah, let's go. And it kind
not
of took
very
me out for a
cautious.
minute. And they're just like walking in tents separately, and I'm like, okay, they're just gonna get ready and they're just gonna assume that no one's here. And why wasn't
Yeah.
anyone there?
Seriously,
Oh, because they were all getting murdered by the freaking undead pharaoh.
well, how did they know that?
Yeah, I don't know. It's very very weird. And then
I did appreciate seeing Steven explore like the more archaeology
Yeah.
thing again, because like you've been seeing the whole season how he's been talking about
yeah, since the
his,
very
like,
first episode.
fascination, yeah, and then he's finally getting to like, kind of like have these little joyous moments where he's like, oh my God, it's an actual sarcophagus. Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, I did enjoy that.
Just
The
to
bit
nerd
more
out.
of like Egyptian lore and stuff was really kind of cool.
Yeah, the mythology, I really like how they actually kind of go into a little bit of the mythology and how he nerds out over the mythology, because someone who's a fan of that, like, that's a pretty big fucking deal to be going inside of a tomb like that. Like,
Yeah.
he didn't know whose tomb it was at the time, but still, he was pretty excited about it because that's like something that since he was a little kid he's dreamed of, and which he's like talked about before.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell, but like his apartment completely decked out where he worked, like he's just completely fascinated, obsessed with it. So this was a big moment for him, but got some touchy moments between between Layla and Stephen Grant, and
Oh, there's touching, all right.
oh yeah, there was a little kiss upon the lips. Layla kissed him, and Stephen kissed her back, and that poses a bit of an issue because Layla's married, not to Stephen. Stephen's body maybe, but not to that personality. She's married to fucking Mark, you know? And Mark
About
was
to
mad.
get divorced.
Yeah,
But still,
yeah, Mark was a little mad. He was like, yo, you kissed my wife, dog. He was like,
that's
but,
not cool.
but at the same time, he's like, but you also told her the truth. He's like, means maybe you do care for her. Maybe you can kiss my wife as long as you care for her.
Maybe we can share. It's fine.
Maybe you can
He's
cuck
over here
me.
contemplating. He's like, I don't mind watching you kiss her.
Mark Holkold. Yeah,
Cuck Spectre. Yeah.
yeah.
dude. And then that whole scene with the that weird monster thing, that was tense actually.
Yeah, that was very cool.
I felt that, like, because like you know that they're not very powerful. They're just like normal people. So like going up against whatever that thing
Yeah,
was, like,
he's exposed. He
it's
doesn't have the suit.
yeah, exactly. Like, you
Khonshu-
could feel it.
Yeah, Khonshu. I feel like that was kind of a dumbass decision. I did not realize that he was going to be without the suit now at the end of the last episode. And then now he's like, they're like, oh, he's without the suit. I'm like, really? Because this definitely seems like a time you'd fucking need the suit, man. Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. Yeah, so they were fighting all the mummies, all the mummified zombies from literally The Mummy with Brendan Fraser. I'm pretty sure then the next two over fighting some stuff. I actually really like this. It reminds me a lot of The Mummy, and I love The Mummy so much. It's probably on Hulu. Everyone should go watch it. I made a Scorpion King joke last week, didn't I?
You did, yeah.
Okay, lovely. At least that's somewhere.
Gotta get that in.
Yeah, then eventually they kind of get split up, and Mark he finds the good stuff. Steven finds he finds a little kind of a tomb room, with a big sarcophagus in the middle of it, and he finds the good stuff. And after this part, like as soon as Steven said one particular line, I was like, no fucking way, dude. Because I like Egyptian mythology a little bit. I remember a little bit from school and my own interest, And when he says the line like, he always wanted to be Egyptian or thought he was Egyptian, I was like, holy shit, dude. Because I don't know a lot about it, but I know like Alexander the Great, what was connected to Cleopatra in some way. I wasn't sure how, but apparently they were in the tomb of Alexander the Great.
Yeah, pretty insane.
And they assumed that he was the avatar for Amit, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's what they said, right? Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, which was pretty fucking insane. I was like, that's awesome. Like that's really fucking cool, dude. Like such a historical, like legendary icon through just history, not even Egyptian history. That's really neat. But unfortunately, on the other side, Layla was getting a little lost, but she met up with the baddie.
Yep, that was she ended up fighting off that thing, and it was a tense
fuck
fight.
Out of him.
But she was able to push him off the edge. That was it was pretty insane. She almost fell off herself, barely clinging to life with that fight.
Yeah, and you want to talk about how she met with Arthur?
The conversation, that was a very emotional conversation she had,
which we all kind of assumed, but I'm glad they kind of. Which
means
they did a good job of leading on about it, though.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, we eventually get told specifically that Mark was the one that killed her dad. He doesn't elaborate much on details, but that's essentially what he tells her, and she's not very happy about it.
Yeah, got her dad
obviously.
Being dead. Yeah, for a good reason. I can understand. She's a little upset, She's just a little upset that her dad was murdered by the man that she loves and married to and whatnot. That sucks, I guess.
Right. We also learn other details from his perspective, though, is that it was his partner that got greedy and wanted to. They didn't need to kill everyone, but he was. Was that what it was? I can't remember why they needed to kill everyone.
The partner, I guess, had his own agenda when he was there. So yeah, he kind of killed everyone. And then in the end, he turned the gun on Mark as well, because Mark tried to stop him.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And that's apparently the same night that Mark turns to Khonshu.
Yeah, which also I think is kind of hard on him for that. I mean, like, that, just because he was there does not mean that he was, like, he literally would have died as well.
Oh, yeah. He also got shot. He was a victim just as much as anyone else there.
Yeah.
Well, not just as much. He did help.
It just doesn't look good on his part because, he's literally a mercenary. He wasn't a soldier. He was one of those contract,
He helped
killers.
the dude that killed everyone get there, essentially.
Exactly.
He was aiding him in the first place.
You can see her frustration, but at the same time, it's not Mark's fault.
No, it's
He did not pull the trigger.
Definitely Arthur is pulling some strings and manipulating the fuck out of her.
He's good at it.
Mm-hmm. He knows.
I really like him in this role, but I'm a little bored by him.
He's a little weird for a villain.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've it's not that creative. I feel like I've heard the, like, oh, he's super fucking, like, zen, and he doesn't believe in violence, and he's just uses his words, and I just
doesn't
don't
believe
like
in
it.
violence. Caps the dude.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. He kind of bores me. I hate to admit it, but I'm kind of bored by him. I like him, though, and I think I want to like him more, but just a little bored by it.
That's fair. I don't know. I feel like he's doing a good job. I like that it's a slightly different villain than other ones. So like, yeah, I appreciate it that it's a little bit more of a menacing without being specifically like in your face about it.
Yeah,
kind of a thing.
I'm
like
going
more
to be evil.
psychological.
Almost to
Right.
where you can actually believe in his believe in his
Yeah.
mindset, just not the justifications or the means, I guess,
Right.
for it. But
Right.
eventually, Arthur meets up with. I guess whatever they needed to get, Stephen Grant shoved his hand down Alexander the Great's body gullet and
Yeah.
pulled out whatever it was he needed apparently to
It's-
get Ahmed out.
It's Amit. It's so they did petrify her Amit. They put her in stone, but they hid her instead of putting her on the shelf, which that's what I don't understand.
Yeah, why wouldn't you put them on the shelf like?
Because their shelf
know.
is literally inaccessible to all humans except for avatars, and that's not really the avatars because you saw how Khonshu like summoned them. He's like, to call a meeting with the gods is to like, to bring death upon yourself.
Is like to suffer their like wrath as well.
To suffer their wrath. Exactly, yeah. So why, for like such a dangerous god who's already been cast in stone, are you just gonna hide her in someone's tomb?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
That-
Seems like
that
they
doesn't
would've
seem like
wanna grab that.
secure enough. What, like, you would put it where you are always watching. I don't know. It's just weird.
Maybe
Yeah, it
maybe
seems
we'll
like an
get like a
oversight.
maybe we'll get like a curveball a little bit later on. Maybe that's not where Amit truly is. Maybe Amit's like in
Maybe.
Arthur's cane or some shit like that. And he didn't know it the whole time.
Or maybe
Um,
the gods didn't even know where it was. Maybe they didn't, because all the clues to it were very obscure. Like you either needed to have that scarab
Damn.
or that map and the knowledge
Ken
and
is right.
the memory of that
We
night.
forgot. The
So
gods don't remember. The gods don't know where she was. They
They
hid
forgot.
it, remember? We forgot it. I'm gonna be honest. I think that's one of the things that the show could have done better. The whole third episode with the whole trying to find like that weird constellation map,
yeah.
mhm.
slash like the scarab. They're like two conflicting things, and like it just didn't make sense. Like understanding, okay, why is the tomb hidden, and like who made it?
Yeah.
I don't know. They could have been a little clearer on that.
Yeah. What they did say though about who had the map, he was a magi. How's it pronounced? Magi?
Magi?
Yeah.
Magi.
Yeah, what are the protectors of the pharaohs and whatnot? That order that's existed from like forever and ever and ever. So I don't know if they had something to do with like building the tombs, which could have, of course, been implied. But you can't just mention Magi once in the entire show and then expect everyone to know what it is and believe
Yeah.
it. Only reason I
Yeah.
know that because of the goddamn mummy, and they explain it in the goddamn mummy.
Yeah.
Then he had found the piece for Amit and handed it off to Layla, and he's gonna fight off the rest of the goons. And then he just gets shot
That
by
does not
Arthur.
work.
Yeah, he gets
Yeah,
shot
he
by
just gets-
Arthur.
Absolutely blasted.
And then some weird, really trippy stuff went down with him waking up in a psychiatric hospital, it seems, and him being just completely sedated. And of course, his doctor servicing him it's Arthur Harrow. Yep. And he's talking to him, and
Got a Moon Knight figure. Like at this point, Layla's there too, and you're like, you don't know if it, like at this point you're like, what is real? They
Yeah.
end on such a weird note that you're like, maybe this is where he's been, but also like, there's no way that they would do that. Like it's an interesting way to end the episode with all of that, but like, also there's like no way you would have all.
they
that
didn't
stuff
swerve
before
anybody.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, like no, there's no way, right?
It was really neat. You guys noticed what was playing on the TV, right?
Was
Yes.
no. What
It was a little like kind of a B movie kind of thing going on where it was an adventurer named Stephen Grant.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
yes.
I thought that was pretty neat, and I'm like, okay, like this is all starting to make sense. Like it's just
Yeah.
his subconscious, like he's imagining in this asylum or something, and
Yep.
Layla's there, also a patient. But that's where our episode pretty much ends, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of conversation between him and Arthur and everything, but like he eventually like tries to run away from them, and he goes through a couple different rooms. He finds a sarcophagus where freaking Mark is.
Yeah.
For some reason, or Steven. Rather.
Yeah,
Sorry.
another reason we might think that this is not real. How there's an Egyptian sarcophagus in the room, one of the rooms.
Yeah, and like you have two versions of the same person hugging each other. It's kind of wild. And
I
then they
like.
both try to leave, and we get the hippopotamus.
Wait, no. Did you notice anything else? Did anybody catch the
Yeah, the
little?
other sarcophagus. I assume.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
another one in
The
there.
banging one.
I'm
You're like,
telling you.
that's someone else, and
They're setting
we
it
don't know
up.
who is it.
Setting it up. I want to see it. God damn it!
Yeah, seriously,
just,
come on.
They have to be waiting till the very end. I don't know why, but they're building that suspense.
Yeah, there's no way you put that in like several episodes worth of like, who is this, and then not pay it off somewhere. There's got to be something in the next couple episodes, right?
They hate us. That's the only thing I think of is that they literally hate us. No, but that was a lot of hype. That I really liked that. That was a pretty good episode, and the end was like maybe like, oh man, like, oh shit. At the same
Yeah,
time,
cliffhanger for sure.
yeah, definitely a big cliffhanger. And after watching it, I was like, man, hopefully they don't spend too much time here because we don't have a lot of episodes left, and I want to get down to the bottom of what the fuck's going on with this. Like,
We'll have to see.
yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, I don't want to keep seeing like a bunch of bull crap like this. Like, although it's super interesting, I just like I want to get to the story that actually matters. You know, like I don't think
where
he's
we
gonna
left off with him being shot.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't think I'm
we
gonna
need
get a
to
lot
know.
of resolution here inside this asylum, and probably some kind of matrix or inside of his own head. That's just I
Yeah.
could be wrong though. Yeah, maybe we will. But that was episode. You guys want to give out a rating?
Yeah, I give this one. I give it an 8. It was a pretty solid episode. I enjoyed it.
I'm on 7.
I got to roll down to a 7 for this one as well. I think it's still holding momentum, but this one was a little more underwhelming than the previous episodes.
I agree. But yeah, so overall though,
Sure.
like I'm super positive. I'm looking forward to the next one, which is important too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, cool. But yeah, so you guys want to give it a 7.5?
7.5
Yeah.
sounds good to me.
Cool. All right, that's the official Foundry review. But guys, we're gonna be back very soon with the next episode, so make sure to keep an eye out on the Foundry. We're gonna be back with episode 5, and then soon the finale of the show. So keep an eye out for those reviews. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll see you guys later on the next one. Bye, guys.
Peace out.
Bye.